We'll discover how this Toronto couple might have found a way to actually afford to live in the city. And that alone is just a hidden treasure gem. What did they do? They actually found affordable housing right away. Once again, where and how? This is what I love about this, because this is kind of around the area of the city I live in. And what they're seeing here is what I've been saying for a little while now. Now, this couple wanted to live in the city, wanted to grow up here, wanted to have a family here, but you can't afford a $1.6 million home in the city. It's not happening for people who are just getting into the housing market. So what they did was find a part of the city around Midtown, St. Clair West, Old Weston kind of area. Well, a little bit west of Midtown then, but still that area, where there are a lot of semi-detached homes. There are duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes. There are other types, laneway housing and garden housing. In my area, what I love it, I live in a triplex on the alleyway that's just about, I guess, a street over, full of laneway houses. And there are semi-detached homes everywhere. It is something that can exist if we do plan for it properly. But a lot of us, once again, aren't going to luck out like these people, and we just won't afford a home in this city, which isn't news to anybody anymore. But as always, on days like this, we have our real estate expert who will hopefully make me have a little bit more of an optimistic view of Toronto's real estate after our conversation, and that is Devel Morrison with Bosley Real Estate Limited, who is joining me to talk about why I can't afford a home, and hopefully, once again, will prove me wrong. Devel, do I have you on the line?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Glenn. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm hoping that you will make me a bit more of an optimist here when it comes to our housing supply and my chances of owning a home. So what do you got for me today? How is home ownership going in the province, but really in the city?
Well, not so great. But before that, I'm just going to say I'm really happy that I never took my snow tires off.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to say.
Ooh, yes. One of the few times procrastinating might have actually helped, eh? So.
Exactly. Absolutely. But yes, unfortunately, I wish I had, great rosy news about how easy and possible it is to own a home. However, I would say, one of the secrets to making it more affordable is to have rental within your home. So, buying a home where you've got a basement apartment, now that basements can be rented for $1,800, $2,000 a month, that's a huge mortgage helper. So for people who are struggling to get into the market, one of the best ways is to have a mortgage helper and have a rental unit within your place as well. Or you could consider buying a duplex with another couple, person, whomever, to make home ownership just a little bit more affordable.
That's interesting. So one would actually be a little bit more of a short-term thing. You have a renter, like you said, help with mortgage payments until you can balance out. And then maybe, if not, you buy a duplex with somebody that you don't hate, which is, have a neighbor you actually like. That's a great plan. And then you own real estate out of that. That's all right. So that's great. But so I'm reading this report here that was out of the Globe and Mail. But essentially it's saying that if my household doesn't earn about 85 grand a year, and that's after tax or before tax, I'm sorry, I just really can't afford a home. And the standard national price of a home is about 800 grand. So that's still a lot of money. But in Toronto, I feel like it's higher. So do I need to be earning like 100 grand to be able to reasonably afford a home?
Unfortunately, it's not even 100 grand wouldn't even do it. You need to earn more.
Well, you're just making me have to get richer. And that's a lot of work, Devel. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. And you see, that's probably why there's a lot more couples who can afford to buy a home than there are singles. So, because the income required to purchase a home is so high, it does put a lot of single people out of the market simply because you need two incomes in order to be able to buy something, which is, that's really unfortunate, right?
Well, yeah, especially something as personal as a home. And I know we're talking about it like the actual brick and mortar, but a home is much more than that. It is I can't even come up with another word for it. A home is a home. And
absolutely,
everyone should be entitled to it. It shouldn't have to be someone either, like you said, is lucky enough or fortunate enough to have another significant other who can help split this cost, or you're kind of just too bad. Hope you like renting for the rest of your life. So is there no real middle ground here?
Yeah, there is. Buy a condo. The thing is that this study is based on someone buying a house, right? And we're looking at $800,000 as a median for the country. Now, obviously in Toronto, it's much higher.
Yeah.
But, the first thing to do to get into the market isn't to get a house, it's to buy a condo,
And
which is significantly cheaper than buying a house. You could buy a condo for, let's say, $600,000.
okay,
Now,
so like half of a house price, really.
pretty much. Now, you're still going to need to have a significant income. It's not that, you have to have no income to purchase that condo. However, it's still a stepping stone, right? It's, imagine showing up for your first day of work and saying, I'm going to be I want to be CEO and I want that job now. That's kind of the leap that we're making when we talk about someone buying a house versus buying a condo, right? You take that first step on the property ladder, which is buy the condo, live there for a while, let that appreciate, and then that way you can sell that and move up to a semi-detached house perhaps. But it's interesting that these numbers are really based on people buying detached homes, which, sure, I get that's the gold standard for some people. But number one, not everybody wants to live in a detached house.
Mm-hmm.
But people could live in a condo. There's nothing wrong with it.
I like this. So essentially what I'm hearing from you is that we need to rethink our whole starter home an idea, because the starter home, when that kind of term really was coined until very recently, was, like you said, either a semi-detached home or a fully detached home. Maybe it's a little bit smaller that you would size up, where now it's, yeah, no, if you can afford a detached home, you're doing good already. A starter home can be a condo. And this is very interesting. Devel, as always, we run out of time I really want to talk to you more. And I will say this time, though, this wasn't as stark or negative as I thought it was going to be. You did leave me with a little ray of optimism here and a little hope that I can get my foot in the door. So I want to thank you for that. And you've started off our Saturday on a good note. Thank you very much for joining us.
Great. Thanks so much for having me.
Have a great rest of your Saturday and stay warm. Stay warm.
I will.
Was Devel Morrison with Bosley Real Estate Limited. Like I said, surprisingly giving me a bit of an optimistic spin in the housing market. Maybe you just have to set your sights a little bit lower on that first home to get your foot in the door.